Okay, so have you seen Severance?
Oh, yeah.
Season 2?
Definitely, yeah.
The beginning?
It's so good.
Adam Scott just like running.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you felt the same way I did, but I was like, wow,
Oh, totally.
that is so intense.
So intense.
How did they film that?
Yeah.
And we're going to dive deep into that today.
Awesome.
Using the Severance podcast as our source material.
Cool.
And it's interesting because, when you watch that scene, it feels like one take.
Yeah, totally.
But the Severance podcast revealed that it was actually like 10 segments filmed over 5 months.
That's wild. I mean, I would have never guessed that.
It's so crazy.
So to get that look,
Yeah.
I mean, they must have had to do so much planning to make it look like that.
Exactly.
And like the technical challenge of it too. I mean, that's just amazing.
Well, and Ben Stiller actually went into detail on the podcast about how they filmed it and like all the different things they had to use. And I mean, it's no surprise that they use things like green screens and treadmills.
Right.
But then they also use this like crazy robot arm.
Oh, wow.
Called a bolt arm.
Okay.
And essentially what it does is it moves the camera like with precise movements.
Oh, so that's how they got it to be so seamless.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if a person was doing it,
right,
it would be really hard to match that up.
Yeah. And I mean, the interesting thing too is like, not only did they have this technology, but they also had to like physically change the set for certain things. Like they had to remove walls for certain shots to be able to get the camera in the right spot.
Wow.
So you're really getting the sense of like how much effort went into it.
Right.
But the craziest thing to me is that Adam Scott admitted on the podcast that he didn't do any like specific training for the running.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if they're filming it like in little bits.
Exactly.
Over time, it's almost like each little bit is like training.
Exactly. And it's so different from like, like a Tom Cruise movie.
Right.
Where he's like, running for miles.
Yeah.
And like actually training for it.
Yeah, he's known for that.
And so it's interesting because Stiller actually like brought up Tom Cruise on the podcast.
Yeah.
And it was like, maybe you should have studied his running form. And Adam Scott's response was so funny.
What did he say?
He was like, oh, yeah, watching him was my training.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, you just get this sense that he was like really just kind of like winging it.
I'm just going with the flow.
In a lot of ways, but it worked.
Totally.
And it's so effective.
Yeah.
And I feel like now, like when I go back and watch it, I'm going to be like seeing it with new eyes.
Totally. And like noticing every little detail. Right. And like, how did they do that? And
it's almost like, those like behind the scenes where you like see how they did the special effects? It's like that, but like with just a simple run.
Exactly. And it really just highlights like the artistry of filmmaking.
Right.
That like something so simple can be so complex.
Right. And it just makes you think like,
totally,
what other things are we just like completely missing?
What other magic is out there?
Yeah. What other movie magic is out there that we just like take for granted?
Yeah.
So
totally.
Yeah. That's our deep dive today.
Cool.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Of course.